Greetings, my name is R.J. Adams. I am a writer and a philosopher. I'd like to read a little bit more out of my journal I've written called Secrets of the Universe, a Philosopher's Journal. If you would like a copy, let me know. I can send you a copy. I was talking before in a previous video about opposites and how light and dark is not one, and I will expand on that in this one. Moving on to light and dark, there is a misconception that when light shines, the dark somehow vanishes, but that is not how it works. Light doesn't make the dark go away. It just covers the dark or hides it. We are always surrounded by darkness. It is just hidden from our view when a light shines, but it is always there. Darkness is invisible to us. We can't actually see the darkness because technically darkness isn't even there. Darkness is a void. It has no substance. If we had no eyes, we wouldn't even have the concept of darkness or light. I heard once that the speed of darkness is faster than the speed of light. It made sense at the time, but now I realize how inaccurate this is since darkness has no speed. When light is removed, when it is turned off, it appears as if darkness moves to replace the light. But this is the light retreating. The dark is already there, so it doesn't need to move there. Darkness is always around us. As I said, darkness doesn't actually exist. No substance, no physicality. You cannot capture or contain darkness. You can interact with darkness in the form of shadows. But that is just manipulating the source of light that is casting the shadow, not the shadow itself. Fire is similar. You cannot physically touch fire, and it does not cast a shadow, but you can manipulate it and interact with it, and you feel the effects of it as heat. So maybe fire is not real either, no substance. By the way, fire is not an element, it is a chemical reaction. As for light, I see it differently than most people. Science says that light behaves like either a particle or a wave, depending on if it is being observed or not. I see light as more of a stream or radius. Light radiates outward in all directions. It is not contained in a beam formed naturally. Studying light from a contained, unnatural source does not accurately inform us of how true light behaves. And it's the thing with about light behaving either like a particle or a wave, depending on whether it's being observed or not. I've recently come to realize that even if you observe it and it appears to become a particle, it's still in its wave form. You just can't see. It's still in both forms at all times. It doesn't become one or the other depending on you can just only detect that's the whole thing. Anyway, the speed of light is not constant, and science knows this. Despite what we have been told for decades, the speed of light actually fluctuates and is not absolute. Plus, there are objects and instances that indeed exceed the speed of light. Also, which wavelength of light does science mean when they're talking about? Light comes in the form of various wavelengths that move at different speeds. Even sound is a wavelength of light. but moves slower than visible light that we can see. We do not have to try to move at the speed of light because we kind of already do. I believe that thoughts may move faster than light. We all experience thoughts and ideas constantly coming in and out of our heads, faster than we can keep up with. We can catch glimpses, and some ideas even stick, but it is impossible to keep up with everything. I have learned not to fight it. I just let it flow, and I do not stress if a brilliant idea comes to mind, then leaves before I'm able to record it into my memory. I think that if it is the right time for an idea to exist in the world, it will be birthed again, even if it is to someone else. It is thought by science now that if you were able to move at the speed of light, you wouldn't be able to see because light wouldn't have an effect at its own speed somehow. So you wouldn't, and there's a whole thing, and I can get into that whole debate in another video, more, expand on it more later. I had a random thought a few weeks ago that has stuck with me. I was standing on my back porch, and when suddenly I said out loud to myself, we just need to slow down to reach the speed of light. I thought this was an odd statement at first. Why would I say slow down? That sounds counterproductive, counterintuitive. But then I started thinking about it. Maybe that is what we have to do. Maybe science is looking at it in the wrong way. What if there is not a universal speed limit so much as a limit to speed itself? And when the maximum is reached, it cycles or recycles. Meaning if you go fast enough and reach the limit, you are recycled to speeding up to catch up with the rest of us again. It kind of makes some sense, sort of. The faster you go, the slower everything around you moves until everything just stops. It would seem as if everything were frozen in time, and as you continue to increase speed past the limit, everything would start slowly moving forward again until you move back in sync. I do not know if this will make sense to anyone, as I am not sure it even makes sense to myself, but it is interesting to think about. I think I will end the video with that. And I do think that's important, that even if something doesn't make sense, if it is important that we let our ideas come out and just write them down, record them somehow, and the world needs as many ideas as it can get right now, and no matter how crazy they seem or whatever. But so just write them down. Write down whatever crazy thoughts might come to you. And I guess I will end this video, and thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.